Welcome everybody to another Sunday night of You've Got to Know. Today I have Peter Dingle with me, who is well versed in many areas when it comes to discussing health issues. But one of the subjects Peter is very passionate about is gut health. Now, Peter, I know you have a view about what makes up a healthy gut. Can you share that with us, please?
I do. I have a view on I have an opinion on everything gut related, one way or another. So look, it really comes down to, a lot of people ask me, how do I know if I've got a gut? Do I need a microbiome test? Do I need a test? Do I need to look? The answer is really simple. I'm not big on testing. They cost a lot of money and you don't necessarily get a good return. So you invest the money, get the information, and then what does the information mean? Now, even for someone like me who studied for 20 years and I've been researching gut for 20 years, I look at it and go, oh, hold on, what does it mean? Oh, yeah, they've got some of the firmicutes, you've got some of these. It gets very confusing. So I go back to people and say, one, do you eat healthily? Do you live healthily? Do you surround yourself in healthy things emotionally, physically, environmentally? Then the chances are you're probably going to have a healthy gut. Now, the second question you need to answer is, do I have any gut symptoms? And that's the best way to approach it. And it says, okay, that's starting from here. So do I have any periodontal disease? Do I have any tooth decay, any gingivitis, any infections? Am I constantly going to the dentist like I was as a kid? Am I, do I have any sore throats, ear, nose and throat infections? Ear, nose and throat infections, laryngeal coughs and clear constant clearing, sinus infections, constant anything up here, literally in here and here and here, is all linked to the gut. So there's about a 90% chance it's coming from the gut. Now, most people don't know that. So if you've got any of that, then it's probably linked to the gut. Then if you've got reflux, which you'll know, or something called silent reflux, and you won't know, but you've got that constant clearing of phlegm and things like that. And then if you've got any stomach issues, which usually don't revolve around pain because of the lack of pain receptors there, but revolve around bloating and the feeling of overfullness. Now, someone mentioned, I saw someone mentioning, look, bloating is normal. Bloating is not normal. Feeling full is normal. Bloating is a condition, and it could start 15 to 20 minutes after you've eaten a meal, or it may be a half an hour, 10 days, doesn't matter. It just feels full and it doesn't go down, and it is bloating, not feeling full, just bloating. You know what it means. If you've got excessive burping, now we're supposed to burp, excuse me, we're supposed to burp. That's getting rid of the gases that we actually, we take in with our drink. So I used to do a lot of sipping. So I'm sipping on my tea and sipping on my water all day. And one of the things that does is puts a lot more gas down there. I'm burping more. You might get a bit of burping from your the chemical reactions going on in the stomach, but that's normal. That's all good, okay? But excessive burping. Then you've got going down into your small intestine. Do you have that bloat feeling, that uncomfortable feeling, or in your stomach? It's just sitting there, and it's sitting there, and it's sitting there, and you can't go to sleep at night, or you can't get comfortable because you know it's sitting there. And then obviously at the other end, do you end up with either constipation or diarrhea? And you get both of them. People don't understand it. You can actually go from one to the other and backwards and forwards all the time. And again, interesting, I heard someone say, someone who works in the profession said, it's normal to go to the toilet. It's normal to go, 2 or 3 times a day, or it's normal to go every 3 days, as long as you're regular. Now, rubbish. I'm sorry. Rubbish. If the transit time for a normal, everyday, healthy bowel movement is 24 hours for a male, 36 hours for a female, or somewhere in between there. Now, anything over 2 days, 48 hours, it's some form of constipation. Something is going wrong. If it hurts, it's constipation. If you can't get it out, it's constipation. If you've got a little bit of diarrhea after drinking a lot of liquid, an hour, that's okay. But if it's running all the time, then you've got an issue. So I come back to the symptoms. And if you've got any of those symptoms or signs, then you've got some dysfunction in the gut. And as a result, and again, you may not notice it, but you may already have the start of bloating when you've got the diarrhea and constipation. So looking into that straight away is really important, rather than waiting for another 6 months or a year until you have a medical examination. Get onto it now. And then that goes back to my first part. Are you eating healthily? And are you eating healthily according to my standards, not yours, my standards? I can't hear you now. I can't. I've lost your voice.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that. It makes a lot of sense. So assess your environment, assess where you're at in terms of eating healthily and to your standards, not to ours, because I often hear people saying they're eating clean, and clean can mean different things to many people. And then, of course, have a look at the symptoms and the conditions that you're experiencing. So given that we're coming into the Christmas season now, what would be your top tips in terms of either maintaining a healthy gut, or if you think you may not have a healthy gut or be the healthiest, what would you recommend you do?
Okay, well, coming into Christmas, we all know there are probably 3 or 4 underlying conditions that are going to get in our way. One is we're going to be busy running around. We're going to be, worrying. So stress is the first one. The second event is, okay, we're probably going to be drinking too much, alcohol, that is, okay, and the wrong types of sugary drinks, okay? And the third one is we're going to be overeating. Now, that's fine. They're all fine. And the problem is we do them every day anyway. And that's why we've got gut issues. If I was to summarize 20 years of research on the gut, it's because of the stress. It's because of the wrong type of drinks and the wrong type of foods. And you ready? How we eat the foods. So my suggestion working backwards is, if you're going to have a big Christmas meal, which we do every day, 3 times a day, eat smaller amounts slowly and allow your system to catch up. And I'll give you a really simple example. Your stomach produces all these gastric juices, but it has to get a response already. So it reacts to whatever you put in. So if you've eaten a huge meal in 5 minutes, which is what we do, then it doesn't work. Can't digest it. It can't get in there. So take that meal, and every meal you have, just have the same amount of food if you have to, but just savor it. Put your fork down, put your spoon and knife down, have a conversation, take a breath, okay? And then, so slow down your food eating. If you have to eat that much, by the way, if you eat slow, it'll tell you to stop eating anyway, because the receptors tell you that you're full, and 5 or 10 minutes later, it'll say, hey, I've had enough. Second of all, when it comes to drinking, it's simple. Just if you're going to have alcohol, remember it is a gut poison, it is a nervous system poison, and just make sure you're doing lots of nutritious things, preferably lower alcohol content. Don't binge drink, that's the worst one. Alcohol is not good for the gut no matter what, but wine is better than pure alcohol, because it does have a few minor benefits in there. So mix to a little bit of wine, take your time, and of course, don't overindulge. And look, I'll be having a wine and I'll be having a beer and so on, but gone are the days of the overindulgence, because not only does my gut like it, I don't like it. Now then, the first, working back to the number one, just lower the stress. And people don't realize it, but stress and poor lifestyle habits, like poor sleep and so on, are major causes and contributing factors. So they can initiate reflux that you'll have for the next 2 or 3 years. So they can be the actual cause of it, or diarrhea or constipation. And they're the ones that if you've got it, it will exacerbate it. So slow down, take a breath, not just while you're eating, but your nervous system runs on, your gut health runs on relaxation. When you're stressed, the first thing it does is shut your stomach down and hold everything in the stomach. And usually for most people, it actually speeds up the bowel. So you're feeling full and you get diarrhea. Great. Just what you don't want for Christmas. So take your time, lots of deep breathing, and appreciate it. It's Christmas time. It's family time. Just love the time and make peace with everything you need to.
I love that. Thank you so much. Some really great tips there for our viewers. I really appreciate chatting with you today. I know you have written several books. I think you're up to 17, and there's one on the way as well on living well. You've also developed a number of online programs. Where can people get access to this, Peter?
Look, the best way is just going, first of all, to our website, www.drdingle.com, drdingle.com, which is where we've got our marvelous online programs, our membership, which is $75 for hundreds and thousands of hours of research condensed into it, so people can actually fix their problems. It's really, the work I put up is solution-based. It's all about what do you need to do to fix reflux? What do you need to do to fix SIBO? What do you need to do to fix constipation, diarrhea, all of those issues, and looking at it from the really holistic perspective. The second one, so that's our website. The second one is really simple. We run a group called Gut Health Australia on Facebook. Now, Gut Health Australia, we've got 18,000 members. We just hit 18,000 members on the weekend, and there is so much going on there. There's 20 or 30 posts a day. We've got health professionals. I moderate and mediate. It takes a couple of hours every day now just to keep it rolling over. But it's got an amazing amount of information. But they're just snippets. That's why we built our website with our membership, so that people can get the whole picture all at once to fix the problems, rather than, so many people I know have these problems for years and decades and all their life, and they don't realize that 99% of them you can start to fix in half an hour.
That's awesome. I will make sure that I include the link to your website in this post so that people can access that information. Thank you so much, Peter, for joining us today, or tonight, I should say, or depending on where you are in the world. It could be morning or night, but I really appreciate your time. I could talk to you for hours. I think I'll get you back on at some stage as well if you're obliging, but I've
Look forward to it.
appreciated having you on today. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Take care. I appreciate each and every one of you. And don't forget, I love your guts, and it's about time you do too. Thanks so much. Bye for now.